All the girls' thief suits are so kinky.
I think sometimes people get wrapped up in the wrong aspect of our favorite characters. People think Goku loves fighting and nothing else. Some think Onodera is just a plain boring doormat, when there's way more to her than that. And some people think Excalibur from Soul Eater is lame. And he is. But sometimes, a deeper look at a character who seems unique can be really worthwhile, even if that character is a shut-in and would rather be left alone. Now, I'm not a shut-in, I'm an introvert. There's a difference. I think. But I'm pretty damn capable enough to talk about Goggles, Pharaoh, Oracle sounds better. Time to talk about Persona 5's Futaba Sakura. Futaba doesn't appear until about halfway into the story, but there are hints of her early on. Sojiro gets calls from someone we can assume it's her, considering we never actually see Sojiro date. She really puts her mark on the series when she's revealed to be Medjed, a hacker or group of hackers that have been popping up lately and accuse the Phantom Thieves of being false heroes. But Futaba actually goes by the codename Alibaba. Alibaba is recruited by the thieves to shut down Medjed, but in exchange, the Phantom Thieves must steal the heart of one, Futaba Sakura. Of course Futaba is actually Alibaba, but it's interesting. She contacts Joker to have her own heart stolen. The thieves try to find more information, but get stumped. Futaba tries to call off their deal, but the thieves persist. After Makoto discovers Futaba is in fact the one who they've been communicating with, they go all the way to Sojiro's home to talk with her. This is after they learn that Sojiro is Futaba's legal guardian, and Futaba and Makoto meet in an unlikely manner. For all the crap the Persona 5 anime gets, Makoto and Futaba sell the scream so much better than in the game.
You did it, good job. I can't believe it, I'm proud of you.
Sojiro explains that he took in Futaba after her mother was killed. Her mother, Wakaba Ishiki, was a cognitive scientist. Her and Sojiro were close, and when Wakaba died, Futaba was taken in by some family members who treated her horribly. More on that later.
Know your fucking place, trash!
But as heartbreaking as this is, we learn a lot about Sojiro. Sure, at first he seems like a jerk, but his love for Futaba is very apparent, and he feels bad that he can't do more for her. The thieves decide to talk to Futaba again and steal her heart. That's what's so interesting. The person with the palace is the one who's asking for the change of heart. Futaba claims that the day her mother died, a note was left that blamed Futaba for it, thanks to her always complaining about wanting to spend more time with her mother. Everyone around her shunned and hated Futaba for Wakaba's death, and Futaba grew to hate herself for it, but something still felt off. She gives herself up to the thieves and tells them to steal her heart, but that's not quite how it works. Hey, come back Futaba, don't go in the... and she's gone. The thieves guess the keywords and arrive in Futaba's palace. Desert and tomb are a really cool concept for the place. The isolation, the harshness, the lack of air conditioning outside the pyramids. The gang meet a shadow version of Futaba clearly steeped in darkness. She continues to blame herself for her mother's death. Her shadow also finds ways of almost killing the thieves multiple times, so that's fun. The thieves continue and begin to put a lot together. They ask some questions. Did Futaba's mom really hate her? Was she really responsible for her mother's death? The answer? No. Wakaba suffered a shutdown. Whoever has been responsible for all the shutdowns lately also played a hand in this. Eventually, while fighting a Sphinx version of Futaba's mom, just now realizing how ridiculous that sentence is, Futaba finds a way into her own palace after receiving a calling. Thanks to the thieves and the spirit of her mother, Futaba realizes that while her mother may have scolded her at times, still loved her. Something is up, and she's willing to stand up to injustice. And at last, she unlocks her persona, Necronomicon, a giant UFO. I've seen stranger. She helps the Phantom Thieves use a ballista against her mom and the day is saved. Futaba and her mother's cognition make up and everyone escapes from the palace. Futaba holds up her end of the deal and deals with Medjed after sleeping for about 2 to 3 weeks. Afterwards, she finally wakes up and joins the Phantom Thieves officially. Compared to the others though, she's still a bit different. There's a lot of anime and game references, she still doesn't like to go out a lot, and she can't really carry a conversation. That is until Yusuke completely destroys her figures. She dubs him Inari, and they pretty much bicker the whole game. What's actually pretty charming, as long as Yusuke avoids any mouse-based puns. Futaba takes over as the team's hacker. She guides them through palaces and mementos and even finds weaknesses of certain enemies. This does lead to Morgana's lack of confidence down the line, but he gets his own video. Last face. You can tell she really grows to care about the other thieves, and even though it's not her confidant story, she calls Sojiro dad after some time. Totally didn't cry at this. Not even a little bit. Also, her uncle sucks. He really sucks. Next to Ryuji and Makoto, you can tell that she grows the most as a person and as a character outside of her introductory arc. Not Yuan, Yusuke, or Haru. You guys, not so much. Just wait till Strikers, okay? Sadly, Sojiro also learns that Futaba and the rest of the gang are part of the Phantom Thieves. He's understandably frustrated, but he accepts them and provides support. But yeesh, Futaba, learn to throw those calling cards away. Futaba's confidant story is about her getting more comfortable with the outside world and other people. She goes to Shujin where she reveals she was bullied for her intelligence, destroys Mishima by calling him an NPC,
I didn't like any of that.
and generally gets more confident venturing in the outside world. And you can help reunite her with her old friend Kana, a girl like Futaba who had her quirks but a bad family. But Futaba decided to step up, stop hiding, and stand up for her friend. In Maruki's reality, Wakaba is still alive, and she and Sojiro spend quite a bit of time together alongside Futaba. If Joker decides to stand against Maruki and complete Futaba's confidant, Necronomicon becomes Prometheus, and later they fuse to become Al-Azif. Futaba even says at the end of Royal that she'll finally be going to high school, Shujin more specifically, because shut up. And then, well, here comes what some of you have probably been expecting me to talk about. The dynamic between Futaba and Joker. Oh boy! So Futaba calls Joker her key item. She feels safe around him, she hides behind him, but also says that she feels nervous around him and gets tongue-tied. A goal of hers during her story is to be okay even without him being around. And in the end, the player can either choose to keep Futaba and Joker platonic, or put them together in a relationship. Now, a lot of people have problems with Futaba and Ren dating. One reason people say is because of the age difference of 1 year, but that doesn't seem to stop people from shipping Ren with Makoto, Haru, Akechi, Sai, Takemi, Kawakami, Sumire, and a whole bunch of other people who I really don't feel like naming right now. Others have issues with Futaba's issues throughout life, that her being in a relationship with someone just wouldn't feel right. Never mind the fact that she can grow out of her issues or something like this, and the whole point of Futaba's story is that she can grow to have a normal life after all of her trauma. That's nothing. Lastly, people seem to get really upset that Joker and Futaba are siblings, despite the fact that Sojiro hasn't adopted Joker. I know he specifically said not to date Futaba, but he said immediately afterwards that wouldn't be so bad. And please don't use Ryuji saying that they're like brother and sister in the anime as evidence for anything. Newsflash, there are no romances that are canon in the anime. And no, the Valentine's Day specials don't count. If you want to ship Ren and Futaba, do it. If you don't want to, don't do it. Everyone, respectfully, shut up! Lastly, in Strikers, Futaba has some levels where she'll hack a system for the team, and even a part where she'll be the last one remaining and have to venture out on her own to save the team, even if it's because she's just not in that great shape and just happens not to get captured. She even becomes close with Zenkichi's daughter, Akane, and in the dancing game, she'll talk about how her and her mother always wanted to do fun stuff like this. It really motivates her to do her best throughout the game. Oh, but Alex, what about Tactica? What about Tactica? And that's Futaba. Honestly, one of my favorite characters. She learns to overcome her grief and blame, but still has a lot to grow. Her growth feels reasonably paced, and not to mention she had some pretty hilarious moments. She's not just a walking meme factory. She's a compelling character whose journey was a lot of fun. And as someone who did choose to romance her, her dynamic with Ren is actually pretty touching. But that's Futaba. Hermit, hacker, awesome. Did you guys like Futaba? Hate her? Somewhere in between? Or do you just not know her yet? Let me know in the comments, alongside with any other Persona 5 characters you want me to cover. See you next time.